most, if not all, markets are competitive. That is, supply and demand operate in all markets. If, for example, the labor market has a surplus, it will be temporary. Soon, the wage rate will decline and the quantity supplied of labor will equal the quantity demanded of labor. Similarly, given a shortage in the labor market, the wage rate will rise and the quantity supplied will equal the quantity demanded. What holds for wages in the labor market holds for prices in the goods and services market. Prices will adjust quickly to any surpluses or shortages, and equilibrium will be quickly re-established. Self-regulation, driven through market forces, that is, demand and supply, in all the markets. Logical, isn't it? Let's dwell further by understanding three typical situations in an economy. Before delving into the details, let's quickly revise one key economic term, that is, natural real GDP. It is defined as a real GDP that is produced at the natural unemployment rate. The real GDP is produced when the economy is in long-run equilibrium. Economists often refer to the three possible states of an economy when they consider the relationship between real GDP and natural real GDP. Three possible states of an economy are: real GDP is less than natural real GDP. Real GDP is greater than natural real GDP. Real GDP is equal to natural real GDP. Let's now name and graphically portray each of these three possible states of the economy one by one. Let's first look at case number 1, that is, real GDP is less than natural real GDP, that is, recessionary gap. The exhibit shows an eddy curve, an SRAS curve, and the LRAS curve. It also shows that natural real GDP, that is QN, is produced in the long run. Short-run equilibrium is at the intersection of the AD and SRAS curve at point 1. The real GDP level that the economy is producing at point 1 is designated by Q1. Now compare Q1 with QN. Obviously, Q1 is less than QN. In other words, the economy is currently producing a level of real GDP in the short run that is less than its natural real GDP level. When the real GDP that the economy is producing is less than its natural real GDP, the economy is said to be in a recessionary gap. Let's look at the second case, that is, real GDP is greater than natural real GDP, that is, inflationary gap. In the exhibit, the AD and SRAS curves intersect at point 1, so short-run equilibrium is at point 1. The real GDP level that the economy is producing at point 1 is designated by Q1. Compare Q1 with QN. Obviously, Q1 is greater than QN. In other words, the economy is currently producing a level of real GDP in the short run that is greater than its natural real GDP level or potential output. When the real GDP that the economy is producing is greater than its natural real GDP, the economy is said to be in an inflationary gap. Let's now look at the third case, that is, real GDP is equal to natural real GDP, that is, long-run equilibrium. In the exhibit, the AD and SRAS curves indicate that short-run equilibrium is at point 1. The real GDP level that the economy is producing at point 1 is designated by Q1. Again, compare Q1 and QN. At this time, Q1 is equal to QN. In other words, the economy is currently producing a level of real GDP that is equal to its natural real GDP or potential output. When the real GDP that the economy is producing is equal to its natural real GDP, the economy is in long-run equilibrium.